By the way, some people that listen to this show, got really offended that I criticized Machine Gun Smelly. By the way, I created the hashtag Machine Gun Smelly, and apparently it's catching on a little bit on Twitter, which is pretty funny. If you don't like Machine Gun Kelly and you want to get under his skin and you want to get under some of his followers, hashtag Machine Gun Smelly. And you see what happens. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, I watched the segment with Machine Gun Kelly, finally. I watched the whole thing. Now, I did see a little quick clip of it before we went live Monday, and I noticed right away the nice little quilt and the mattress right above the very, very thin piece of wood that you could probably drop a plant on and it would have cracked. But for visual, it was good enough. I'm not going to criticize the spot. However, and look, Twitter is no big deal. I mean, Twitter is a big deal, I should say, but Twitter is not as big of a deal as some people play it off to be, in my opinion. Okay? But you got to know when to use Twitter and when not to use Twitter. And you also, if you're going to be in a skit on Raw, you need to understand something, Machine Gun Smelly. This fucking hick. And look, here goes the Bully Ray reference, okay? I guarantee you don't like Machine Gun Kelly because he can rap and you can't. You don't like Machine Gun Kelly because he's got babes and you don't. You don't like Machine Gun Kelly because he's a successful performer and you're not. That's what I'm going to get. That's why, that's the thing that people will do. No, I don't like Machine Gun Kelly because I don't like his music. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his style. I don't like anything about the guy. He doesn't entertain me. But I would respect Machine Gun Kelly if Machine Gun Kelly, to use a wrestling reference, knew his role and shut his fucking mouth. And what Machine Gun Kelly did 2 hours after Raw Monday night, to me, put an exclamation point on why I knew this guy was a piece of shit. Keep him as far away from fucking my wrestling channel as possible. Look, if my girl is watching MTV Awards and he's performing, I'll fucking watch it. I don't have a vendetta against Machine Gun Smelly. If she's fucking watching, I don't know, Leno or somebody on TV, fucking whoever, and he happens to be on there as a guest, I'll fucking watch it. I'm not going to change the channel, but keep him fucking off my wrestling TV. I don't give a fuck that he got powerbombed. Maybe you know what? Maybe WWE is doing reverse psychology. Maybe WWE had Machine Gun Kelly get powerbombed to appease the people that don't like Machine Gun Kelly and John Cena. Because remember, the whole reason why he powerbombed Machine Gun Kelly was to upset John Cena. He's John Cena's boy. Remember that. It wasn't just a random hick performance by some fucking whatever, and, Kevin Owens just came out and just did it because he's a dick. No, this is all tied into John Cena. But Machine Gun Kelly, some people may not have even thought it was a big deal, but 2 hours after Raw went off the air, instead of selling that he got powerbombed through fucking whatever, he's on Twitter. He's got to stand up for himself, Machine Gun Kelly. He's got to keep his tough edge. He can't come off as being powerbombed. Oh, and by the way, I finally could credit him. Wait. Oh, man. Did I delete his name while we were talking tonight? Son of a bitch. No, I didn't. I have to find it. Hold on. Nathan, is it Nathan Clark? I think it might be Nathan Clark. He's the one that came up with that reference that, Kevin Owens looks like the insecure fat kid you would see at a community pool in the summertime. And look, for fucking Kevin Owens fans, please, I think Kevin Owens has been the highlight of WWE television the last month. All right, I am a big Kevin Owens fan, and I will defend Kevin Owens this week, okay? But let's also be honest. Okay, if you didn't know who Kevin Owens is, you just saw him walking down the street, or you could envision that's how a fat kid would look dressed if he was insecure and stood by a community pool in the summertime. Fucking baggy fucking t-shirt, arms cut off, extra long shorts, fucking scruffy fucking beard because everybody has fucking facial hair right now, and just looking like he's ready to go, attack a Wendy's or a fucking Burger King. Anyway. So Nathan is the one that came up with that little thing. But here's the thing that pisses me off about Machine Gun Smelly, okay? John Cena on the pay-per-view got, and I say this in storyline, got powerbombed through the edge of the ring. Bumps, bruises, blah, 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 soreness. He's not on Raw. Now, obviously, they did that to enhance what Kevin Owens did to John Cena. All right? So now we have Kevin Owens in storyline powerbomb Machine Gun Smelly through, what we saw on television. Now, if Machine Gun Kelly is not injured in storyline after that, okay, it diminishes John Cena's even more hatred towards Kevin Owens for doing what he did to his friend. Okay? So, if Machine Guns... This is why you don't put celebrities in spots on television and wrestling. If Machine Gun Smelly is going to perform and WWE comes up with this idea, hey, we got this great idea. How would you like to get powerbombed through a table? This could further enhance the storyline between Kevin Owens and John Cena because you're John Cena's friend. And the following week on Raw, John Cena will come out, cut a promo. Look what you did to my friend. We'll see fucking 15, repeats of it and, played back for us on Raw. And John Cena will be extra angry and blah, 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 blah. And Machine Gun Kelly's like, yo, yeah, let's do it, man. Word. Yeah, let's do it. Do it. Yeah, let's do it. That'd be kicking. That'd be hopping. That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. So you fucking put him in the spot, and instead of him selling the injuries as a storyline to further enhance John Cena's anger towards Kevin Owens, what does this dick do? He goes on fucking Twitter 2 hours after Raw and writes, and I quote, to Fight Owens Fight, did you take the belt for best cheap shot home tonight? Please, Holmes, hit harder next time. That was chump change. I inserted the Holmes word, by the way. He said, please hit harder next time. That was chump change. I mean, think about that. And why was that written on there? Remember, this is a storyline. It's a storyline. He didn't really get hurt. Why did he write it on there? Because he didn't want it to start circulating that the guy, the insecure guy, fat guy by the pool, powerbombed his ass and knocked him out of a loop for a little while. So I had to get my heat back. I had to go on Twitter and punk out Kevin Owens and say, that was chump change, Holmes. Blah, 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 blah. You fucking cock. You loser piece of shit prick. And for people out there, younger fans probably won't even get, Don Tony, you're nitpicking too much. Well, whatever. We don't give a shit about Machine Gun Smelly or whatever. It don't matter. It does matter. It does matter. Because if there's not backlash for this, fucking WWE will do it again and again and again and again. I'll give you a good example of it. Here's a great example of it. Kevin Federline. I will never, ever forget this moment as a wrestling fan because I remember when we did the early shows and this happened on TV, I predicted what was going to happen, and it happened. And it was no big deal, but this is a perfect example of it, okay? When they had Kevin Federline take on John Cena on television, and Kevin Federline won, okay? What did Kevin Federline do after he got his victory on John Cena? He got one over on John Cena, whatever it was. What did Kevin Federline do? Anybody remember that? Some people that may not have seen it live have no idea what I'm talking about because you wouldn't have seen it. But for the people that remember it or may have vented as much as I did back then, Kevin Federline then took out a bunch of money and started showering John Cena with money. while he was on the mat, on the canvas. He started showering money. It's a show of disrespect and this and that. WWE, after that, edited out that little spot of what Kevin Federline was doing. Okay? And that wasn't part of what was supposed to be. Why did Kevin Federline do it? To further himself as a tough gangster. Shower of money, more disrespect. Now look, I will defend Kevin Federline at the time. Maybe Kevin Federline thought that that was the right thing to do because the difference is Kevin Federline was the asshole. All right, we weren't supposed to be cheering Kevin Federline. So maybe he thought that that would have further inflamed him, as far as his persona. Okay? WWE wasn't happy with that. And I said, guaranteed they edited it out because that's just someone deciding to take it to another level on their own. And the problem is, when you use established actors and established performers that understand entertainment and know what entertainment is and what it's all about, they understand what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. That's why William Shatner didn't do more than what he was supposed to do. That's why Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't do more than he was supposed to do. But if you notice, it's always the young, wannabe tough, pretty much, I don't want to say nobodies, but the people that that just don't have that experience. That's why you see Kevin Federline do it. That's why you see Machine Gun Smelly do it. That's why you've seen other people over the years do it. So remember when WWE was having a guest host every single week? What would happen a lot? You would have a heel wrestler confront the guest host, and the guest host would always add additional one-liners because they felt they always had to get one up on the heel. And why is that? Because what does Kevin Federline, Machine Gun Smelly, and a lot of these other Matarazzas have in common? They're very insecure. They're very insecure. They are so paranoid about their persona and the perception of their persona that they take it personal. Machine Gun Smelly took personal that the insecure fat kid by the pool bitched him out on Raw that he had to put one up to go on Twitter so all of his supporters would go, "Yay, Kelly, you told that motherfucker. You told him. You gave it to him. That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You told him." Shut your fucking mouth. It's a fucking story. It's entertainment. It's not real. And I tell you, it happens for wrestlers too. I mentioned this last Monday on the Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle show, and I'll bring it up now just as a quick, another example. Wrestlers are guilty of doing that too. Mickie James, as stupid and as horrible as the storyline was of her on TNA Impact and getting pushed in front of a train, okay? It's a storyline. It's entertainment. Might be bad entertainment, but it's still entertainment. You don't go on Twitter and kill the storyline by saying, "Everybody, I'm alive, I'm fine, I don't know what's going to happen next, your guess is as good as mine, blah, 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 blah." If I was TNA, and look, no disrespect to Mickie James, I'm a fan of hers, all right? I got the edition of Leg Show inside. I even have an autographed photo of hers from WWE from 10 years ago that I might actually give away on the next slew of prizes. Okay, I like Mickie James. I always liked her as Alexis Lurie. Let me tell you something. To me, Mickie James could have been what AJ ended up being. All right, similar in size, but boy, did she have ability. All right, AJ Lee, look, there's obvious reasons why she got over a million times more than Mickie James. AJ Lee has a much cleaner background. AJ Lee's got a different personality. It's not fair to compare Mickie James to AJ Lee, other than stature and size. But Jesus Christ, if you're going to get a paycheck from TNA and you're going to take part in a bad storyline or a bad segment on TV, I mean, accept it all the way through. Don't fucking go on Twitter and say, I'm all right, I'm okay, I don't know what's going to happen. The future of me is unknown, blah, 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 and totally shoot it down. I brought this up many times. Shawn fucking Michaels, when he did the injury that he couldn't see, he was doing autograph signings here in New York weeks later with a fucking eye patch over his eye. Zack Ryder, as much as we criticize Zack Ryder, when he got into that storyline with Kane and Kane pushed him out of the wheelchair, Zack Ryder did promotional work, fucking crutches. So when people say, oh, Don Tony, you're so 80s, you're so old school, that's not like it is today. You obviously didn't see the Paul Heyman appearance on Steve Austin podcast on the WWE Network, which you could get for $9.99, when he said, old school is new school, just updated. Don't you think that if wrestling is not as good as you want it to be right now, don't you think that maybe a little bit more old school being converted to new school is what's possibly needed? Maybe a little bit more suspension of disbelief? Fucking All My Children, General Hospital, One Life to Live, Dallas, fucking all these fucking soap opera bullshit shows that I grew up, that I hated. I fucking came home from school, mommy, I want to watch fucking, the ABC after school special. No, I'm watching General Hospital. Mommy, I want to watch Cartoons Channel 11. No, do your homework. I'm watching One Life to Live. Mommy, it's Friday night. I want to watch Dukes of Hazzards. No. I want to watch Dallas. I want to watch Dynasty. I want to do that. I want to do it. Now, my mother wasn't that nasty. I'm just trying to, have some fun here. I love my mother to death. Thank God she's still here. I love her. A lot of people that always talk about my generosity. Look, we have some fun shit on the show. We have a little bit of a release on the show, have a little bit of fun. My generosity will always be there for people. I got that from my mom, without a doubt. But why were all those soap operas successful? Why did Who Shot JR be so successful? Why did the Luke and Laura wedding and all this other bullshit crap was so successful? Because even though it was entertainment, I didn't watch that stuff, but all the parents and everybody that did, they knew it was entertainment. They know that JR really didn't get shot. But it was suspension of disbelief. Why is it that because we have Twitter now and Facebook and social media, that suspension of disbelief can no longer happen at all? All right? Could you imagine what would happen if Who Shot JR happened now? You think JR would go on Twitter and say, everybody, I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm good. When fucking Archie Bunker and they had Edith die, and Archie Bunker was you think fucking Edith would have went on Twitter, I'm okay, Archie, I'm okay, it's not real, everybody. Any fucking movie, when someone died, do they go on Twitter, I'm okay, I'm fine, it's okay? Why the fuck is it that people fight? It's usually these jabroni Matarazzi entertainers that think people are stupid enough. Yeah, you got punked out by Kevin Owens. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do? Smelly? Machine Gun Smelly? What are you going to do about it? Yo, I ain't going to your fucking concert because you're a fucking pussy, man. You got bitched out by Kevin Owens, man. Why would I fucking want to buy a fucking rapper, man? How the fuck do you preach that stuff on your fucking album, man? Well, you can't even fucking defend yourself, man, against Kevin Owens, man. How could the fuck do you do this, man? And I'm disappointed at fucking Mickey James for doing that. Look, here's a great example. I'm going to tell it. It's no big deal, but it's a great example. And you could ask Dan Severn if it's bullshit. When they did the angle on WWF television that Dan Severn got a broken neck, ask anybody that ever interviews Dan Severn, or if you ever talk to him, ask him how many emails that he got from fans that were asking him, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you going to be able to fight again? Are you going to ever be able to go back to UFC? Are you all right? I'm a little worried. Please, we're concerned about you. We haven't heard anything, blah, 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 blah. Did he fucking go on an AOL chat because there was internet at the time? Did he go public and say, everybody, I'm fine. I'm okay. It's entertainment. I'm fine. You know what he did? He privately emailed people back, and he was very generic, and he would say, I'm okay, I'm fine, it's cool, I'm all right, don't worry about it, I'll be fine. When some people really got offended by it or really got concerned, he would go a little bit further in his emails back. And how do I know about this? Because at the time, when he really got injured, I started doing appearances on the hotlines. And I remember going on this hotline. I don't remember the name of it. Jesus Christ! It wasn't the Viaduct. There was some hotline back then. And I went on there, and while I'm on there, the person said to me, they said, what do you think WWE is going to do about Dan Severn getting his neck broken? And I said, well, what do you mean? And the person started bringing up the storyline and asked me if the wrestler was going to get suspended or not. And I just stood in my place at the time on the phone, and I'm saying to myself, my God, this person thinks this storyline is real. And I was like, I don't know, what do you think should happen? Well, I think this. I think Owen Hart should be suspended. I think this. I think that. And I was like, oh my God. And I just brushed it off a little bit of comedy, and I just played into it, but people knew exactly that I, understood what was going on and just having some fun with it. But Dan Severn was very quiet about it, sold the storyline because he was a professional. He knew it was entertainment. Machine Gun Smelly, what happened on Raw was entertainment. You don't need to fucking play one up. And that's what these people do too many times. They play one up, and it's fucking nauseating.